Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to talk about the 8 types of income. Let's get started. Welcome back, everyone. So when we think about planning our wealth and our income, a lot of us just assume that we'll have one W-2. We assume that we have our wages, and essentially we put that into savings and accumulate wealth from that, which is really something that was almost instilled in us for a number of reasons, but ultimately it's not the right way to go about your financial wealth. And for sure, it's not going to lead to financial freedom. Ultimately, in the path to wealth, in the path to financial freedom, you have to build other avenues of income. That's just the way it is. If you look at anyone that's wealthy, at least that I've met, they have a variety of income sources. And so it should not be a surprise that throughout your life, you should be looking to create other income sources. So today I want to talk about 8 different types of income that we come across in life, and ultimately just give you some ideas as to how to go about increasing the streams of income in your life. Okay, so number one is what is called earned income, and it's really all based upon your time. And unfortunately, this is when you think about how you want to live life, most people spend the majority of their working life just to pay the bills, just to make an earned income, and not much else. If you're one of the lucky ones that truly enjoys what they do, then hats off to you. But many of us have a job just to have a job to provide the income. This is known as earned income. Essentially, your time and effort translates into income. Okay. The second one is called profit income. So this is one where maybe you start an Amazon business doing drop shipping, or maybe you begin to sell, lemonade at a stand, or some sort of product that maybe it costs $1 to make. You sell it for $2 per unit, and you're making $1 per unit. So as you begin to sell more products, the profit from the products goes to your pocket. Now, these types of incomes tend to be time consuming. They tend to be high effort for, not always the highest income. So while this is a type of income, it's not one that I often push people to do, only because, again, it still is going to take up a lot of your time. Okay. The third one is interest income. Now, this one I'm a fan of. If you watch any of my other episodes about investing, if you're doing it right, you can begin to earn interest income by doing things like private money lending, or peer-to-peer lending, things that essentially are passive. So you're going to give your capital to usually a loan or some sort of way to make interest. Can be bonds, but those are not yielding very high returns right now. So in this environment, we're probably looking at private money lending and things that will produce interest income for you. Now, the beauty of this is that it doesn't require a lot of time. So you get a lot of income for not so much effort and not so much time. That's one of the beauties of this. Another one that many of us probably won't get the chance to do in our lifetime, but if you do, then you know this. This is what is known as royalty income. So again, at one point in time, maybe you created something that has repetitive volume in some fashion, and it produces income. Well, that's great. Maybe it's an album. Maybe it's a piece of art. That can produce additional income while, again, the work's already been done and the income just continues to roll in. Now, again, this is by far the most passive form of income, but something very rare, but it is worth mentioning. Now, the fifth one is what is known as dividend income. I often do tell people that you should not have anything more than 1/3 of your overall asset worth in stocks and bonds. But what's interesting is there are techniques to produce income from dividends. Right now, again, if you have a crafty dividend portfolio, you can expect a 3 to maybe 5% dividend return on your income. Again, another form of passive income, generally speaking. But now with the dividend income, the one reason I would say not to do it, again, the returns are not that great, 3 to 5%. That's pre-tax. And additionally, you do take on the risk of the company's performance, whereas in other forms of passive income, such as private money lending, you're not tied to a corporation. And ultimately, I think the risks are just a lot lower in other forms of passive income. Dividend income is one that should be part of the portfolio, but definitely not one that you should be relying on. Another form of income, and this is obviously one of my favorites, is rental income. Now, unfortunately, it's not exactly passive. And despite what people tell you, real estate is not a passive investment or income stream. It will produce income, but it's going to take work time and again. Right now, I have a property that my tenant just stopped paying. I had no idea. A month and a half goes by, no one has heard of them, and now they're gone. So now I have to deal with fixing the property, and there are some headaches along the way. But generally, rental income is a very attractive mechanism in your overall strategy, and one that's probably going to produce the highest returns of any investment that you will end up owning. Now, again, we have videos that walk you through how to analyze the deals, how to analyze rental properties, but generally, this is one of the most attractive income streams, and I think everyone should begin to consider putting this in their overall portfolio. So number 7, capital gains. Now, I am of the firm belief that if you're an entrepreneur, you need to have stable and consistent income, but you also need to have your eyes on what I call home runs. Now, every year or two, I'm looking to hit one home run, which is produced by an income called capital gains, right? So right now in Arizona, I'm developing 75 acres. That's my home run for 2021 and probably 2022, which will produce substantial income that will not be there in a stable manner. That's the big difference between capital gain income and passive income, right? Is that the passive income route is consistent, might not be home runs, but it's going to be decent returns and consistent and stable. Capital gains comes in huge waves and then goes down to zero, and sometimes even negative, which is the investment you have to make to get that wave back up. So capital gains, probably the largest return overall, but by far the most volatile. And then lastly, and again, the whole theme you've probably been hearing is passive income. Now, through all these income streams that we've talked about, again, it's a lot about trading your time and effort for income, right? And there's a fine balance between it all. I think what you'll find is a nice balance between some dividends, stocks, if you will, some passive income such as private money lending, some rental income, and then maybe have your eyes on the ball for some home runs, which again, once you do hit the capital gains income, you recycle that back into the other formats, and that's how you begin to produce wealth and long-lasting income. Hopefully you thought this was helpful. We'll have many more of these upcoming, and be sure to subscribe. And if you have any comments, I would love to hear what you're thinking. Thanks.